All right, welcome to DeanBodi Show. DeanBodi Show. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to DeanBodi Show. Hope you're having a great day. We're going to get this thing kicked off on the right foot. Who's the good girl? Good girl, Bodi. Good girl Bodi. She's the best girl in the world. Oh, yeah. DeanBodi.com. 800-878-9698. Bodi Hotline Fun Line. Call the Bodi line. Say something nice to Bodi. Sing your little zippity-doo-dah song. Say your first name, where you're from. We'll make it a feature on the show. We'll sing your zippity-doo-dah song with ya. That's how we do it over here, DeanBodi. We love the rough edges. Do you, be you. We love you over here, DeanBodi. Let me tell you, DeanBodi.com is the website. We got the links on there. One will get you over to the podcast, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're on all the platforms. The social link will get you over to the YouTube channel, DeanBodi space show, YouTube channel. Hey, click, like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you watch the video to the end. And do all the things you do on YouTube. Because DeanBodi's your friend. Anyway, thanks for all the support. The numbers are going up on a daily. Very exciting stuff going on over here. And all kinds of stuff going on in the world. If you hear a whirring noise, a buzzing noise, like I'm inside a helicopter, well, my refrigerator is making a noise again. Oh yeah, on a previous episode, when I told you about the other fridge, this is the fridge number 2, by the way. They took the other one out. They threw it in the garbage. If you're from Jersey, they threw it in the garbage and brought me a new one. Now, the new one is making a whirring noise. The new one is making a hissing noise. The new one is making a noise like I'm doing the DeanBodi Show right inside the helicopter. So if you hear a helicopter noise in the background, we're going to do it anyway because we love the rough edges over here, DeanBodi. Real stuff, no editing, no nothing. We go from A to Z. We flip the switch on, baby, and we put it in the can. Oh, yeah. So I'm looking at this YouTube video. What causes the noise of the whirring noise or some kind of noise in the refrigerator? You know, like the old prank call you used to make when you were a kid. Hello, is your refrigerator running? Yeah, well, you better go catch it. And stuff like that. Well, mine's running all right, and it's making all kinds of crazy noises. So what the guy said, Billy Bob Danny Frank on the video said, it's probably the fan in there that collects a little ice, and it starts to make a little noise. It hits on the ice or it strains the motor, whatever. And you can't pack your freezer too much with stuff, and you can't block the airflow with the intake and the outtake and the internal combustion intake of the phalange of the folliculi and expect it to run properly. So what I'm finding out now, second refrigerator in, is the best way to never hear any noise, the best way to never get any ice buildup, the best way for your fridge and freezer never to have any problems or break, don't put anything in there at all. Oh, yeah. So that's the whole thing. You don't want to put too much stuff in the freezer and block the flow and all that stuff. You want to keep it at a low level. And this, forget about surviving and eating and nutrition. We want to make sure that the freezer is flowing properly and all of this nonsense. Okay, so every time I start to stock up my stuff and I get some nice stuff from like Farmer's Cart, or I just got Bel Campo's meatballs, grass-fed, grass-finished products, and I want to put them in my freezer, you know, I'm not going to eat everything in one day. Sorry, refrigerator repairman guy. And, you know, every time I start filling things up and I want to have some things in there, the refrigerator starts to break down and have all kinds of problems. So I'm using the appliance the way it's supposed to be used, but obviously not, because you got to leave a space in the back. You want to keep the freezer, the stuff, just a few items in there and not too much here and there. So what I'm probably going to have to do as I cook everything off, which is going to take I don't know. In the next few days, I could probably cook it off. And unplug the unit, unplug the appliance, unplug this device for 24 hours and let everything defrost again. So all the ice comes off of the stuff and everything's happy, and we'll plug it back in and we'll see what happens then. Here we go again, but this is all part of it. But we're going to do, if you hear a whirring noise or some kind of helicopter noise during the show, I don't know, maybe I'll call this show Helicopter Noise. We'll see, but you got to keep moving forward, onward, keep moving onward, because that's what you got to do. One small step forward, and whatever it is you're going through, just take one step at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself. As I'm working on this myself, as somebody who deals with anxiety, depersonalization and derealization. These are the branches of anxiety also, for at a high level for over 25 years now. And let me tell you, man, we're doing a whole nother episode on that again, and what I use to kind of help with it and basically correct it. I don't really have that happen to me very often anymore, but every now and then it does latch on to me, and I know how to cope with it a lot better. So, that being said, let me tell you, Bodi and I are walking around by the mailboxes the other day. Last show, I talked about crazy lady was feeding pigeons, right? It's because she thinks she's at a petting zoo. Now we have a girl that can't get her mailbox open. Now we have a girl that's banging on her mailbox, talking to somebody at the same time. I need to get inside my mailbox. And you know what? I really wish my key would just break off in this thing right now. Let me tell you, bang, bang, bang. I really got... And I'm sitting there with Bodi. Bodi's looking at me. I'm looking at Bodi. And we're like, wow, crazy lady number 2. Here we go. Well, the office is open. Why don't you go there and ask them for another mail key? How about that? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because you're not on the lease, or you don't want somebody to ask you what your name is and all that. Maybe you're using the wrong key. You ever think of that? So, listen, man. Got some stressed out people walking around, and you have to deal with this the best way you can and focus on improving yourself and not dwelling and overwhelming yourself. This is what I tend to do. I overwhelm my brain with too much of a wide scope thought, as I'm going to call it. A wide scope thought, meaning worried about way down the road, and being overwhelmed by what could happen, what might happen. And a lot of times it doesn't even happen. Most of the time it works out. So focus on present time consciousness. Focus on being in the moment and micro goals and just doing that one more thing to move you forward, to move you onward, because there always has to be the mindset of onward, moving forward. And it's working for me. It's working for me big time. For me to set up a meeting tomorrow with a business associate that I probably wouldn't have done. It's helping me just keep myself dialed in and not have that wide, thought of overwhelmingness, of too much of a broad scope of a mental kind of thought. It's kind of nutty. But it works if you bring it down and squeeze it down to the micro goals and the micro thoughts, and don't get overwhelmed by too much, woe is me, well, what about down the road? If I wouldn't have thought like this a long time ago, I would have been a lot further along in a lot of areas of my life. And it helps with the anxiety. And it helps with the depersonalization and derealization, where that cogwheel gets locked up of the fight or flight mechanism, and you end up having a psychotic break and blowing a circuit. You got to keep moving onward and forward so it keeps you dialed in. It keeps you moving forward with the least amount of stress. And you start building on these things. Next thing you know, you finished a bunch of stuff, maybe that you've been sweeping under the rug or keeping it in the back of your brain and wanting to do it. but you're overwhelmed with the whole project instead of just taking one piece at a time. Wow, there he goes again. He's talking about all this positive stuff. All right. So listen, man. We're talking about Joe Rogan last time and the ivermectin and the horse paste and people using this stuff to try to help their COVID and get themselves out of a crisis situation. And you got people like Howard Stern and yelling and screaming about it and this and that. We got all these celebrities talking about health and all these things that have no business really talking about health at all. So, it's kind of funny on people that are on different sides of the fence. And you know what? Why don't you just kind of fill the bathtub up with NyQuil? How about that? Why would you do something crazy like that? Why? Well, because it's the nighttime, sniffling, sneezing, coughing, achy, stuffy, headachy, so you can rest medicine. What is it again? It's the nighttime, sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, so you can rest medicine. That's why. You should fill the tub up with NyQuil, soak in that for a day or two, and then everything will be gone and everything will be happy again, and you'll feel a lot better. Give it a try. Oh, gosh, some of the cough medicines I used to have when I was a kid. Remember this? Used to see this green one coming my way. I don't know. It was some kind of Robitussin. And trust me, it wasn't green apple flavor. It tasted like, battery acid. And it was like kind of a nightmare from what I remember. And these kinds of things. But, come on, man. Just take care of your immune system, as we always talk about on DeanBodi. Come on, take care of somebody else. Keep yourself dialed in, and the 90-10 rule. 90% do the right thing, 10% treat. Let's see what's going on over here. DeanBodi Show. Man, we got a lot going on. And, listen, check this out. We're going to call this the Daily Brain. Why? Because we're going to give you a little thing. Did you know that the coconut crab is the largest land-living arthropod in the world? What'd he say? The coconut crab is the largest land-living arthropod in the world, in case you didn't know. Yeah, R.I.P. Norm Macdonald, one of my favorite comedians of all time. And, wow. I mean, he had cancer for like 10 years, didn't tell anybody, didn't want to alarm anybody, didn't want to alarm his family, didn't want the audience to respond to him in a different way when he was performing, letting everybody know he's got cancer. You got to respect that in a big way. And man, oh man, did he leave a large, not just comedy footprint on the planet, but just a footprint in general. You're going to be missed. R.I.P. Norm. We're always going to love you. And thank God we got YouTube. We can watch your videos over and over again, as he's definitely the number one. First of all, the best news guy on Saturday Night Live ever, and the best night talk show host ever, period. That's why David Letterman had him on so many times, because he was just the best guest. You never knew where he was going to come from. And I'm just laughing because he just makes me laugh, as he did millions of people while he was here. And again, we're going to miss you, Norm. R.I.P. Wow. Bodi and I got a couple stories here. Well, one in particular, we got caught in the rain not too long ago as we're walking. And, I thought it was going to be, sometimes Bodi acts like she's got to go take a poopy, and sometimes we'll go around the whole neighborhood. Guess what? No poopy. But I look at it as a positive because she gets me out walking. It's just an exercise walk again for me. The more cardio, the better. And so this one particular time, it looked like it was going to rain. So I'm like, let's squeeze this in now before it rains, and let's get it done. We had a plan, and we're walking, and we're cruising across to the other apartments on the other side, and all of a sudden, the rain starts coming down. Bodi's not pooping, nothing's happening, and here comes the storm. And out of nowhere, as it does in Texas, the sky opens up. And this coming down like a torrential rain pour like I've never seen since I've been out here. And it was like unbelievable. So we're stuck now. And thank God we're under the carports. They have a couple sections where there's covered parking, where you pay a little extra if you live there, and you get the covered parking. And we ran underneath one of those, and the rain was coming down diagonal in sheets of pouring torrential rain. And Bodi's looking at me, and I'm looking at Bodi, and there's no way we can go anywhere. It wasn't one of these rains where you can run home in the rain and it's kind of fun and you're frolicking together in the rain. It's a light shower. We have no problem with that. Bodi and I have done that many times. This one was, you're not going anywhere because it's coming down at 1,000 miles an hour and it's dumping hard. Okay, so we're stuck there and we have a dry area. And Bodi is lying on the ground under the carport, and we just have just enough space to stay dry. It was like a miracle, but we couldn't move left, we couldn't move right, we couldn't move forward, we couldn't move backward. We were stuck in this little round area of dryness. And of course, the rain was coming down diagonal, and it was like, you got to be kidding me. And just when you think it was coming down hard, it cranks it up even more, and it's coming down even harder. I'm like, even if that was even possible, it's coming down even harder now. And we're stuck, and it moved us even into a tighter circle to keep dry, and cars are going by in the parking lot, and we're just stuck there until this rain stops. That's how bad it was. So all of a sudden, I see this maintenance guy pull up to one of the apartments, and he's got to get in to this apartment. And for some reason, he couldn't go through the front door. He had to go over the balcony, get through the sliding glass door, and get back in. I don't know if he was painting the place or he left the keys in there or what he did, but this guy, in the torrential downpour, he jumps up from the first floor on the railing, reaches up to the second floor, climbs up this like little pole that's connecting the two floors, gets himself up there. All along, the rain couldn't be coming down harder. I mean, if we were in, I don't know where else, honestly. And he gets himself up there, and I'm watching this guy like, what? First of all, what's he doing? He did it. Nice going. Is he a maintenance guy, or is he robbing the place? So Bodi and I ended up hanging under the carport. The rain finally starts to come all the way down to like almost stopping. And now we make a move and we get going all the way back home. And no poopy, no nothing. It was one of those where we would have been better off staying inside, but we took a shot, and it was one of those crazy stories. Man, we did it, though. We did it. Why? Because she's the good girl, Bodi. She's the best girl in the world. Oh, yeah. The good girl, Bodi. Yeah. The best girl in the world. Oh, yeah. DeanBodi.com, 800-878-9698, Bodi Hotline, Fun Line. Call the Bodi line. Say something nice to Bodi. She's waiting for you. Say your first name, where you're from. We'll make it a feature on the show. DeanBodi.com, the website. The links are on there. Want to get you over to the podcast, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. The other link will get you over to the YouTube channel, DeanBodi space show, YouTube channel. If you like what's going on over here, please consider subscribing. If you can go to the podcast, give a nice 5-star rating and a nice review would be awesome. We'd greatly appreciate it. We appreciate you like you don't even know. The links are on there in the description. You'll see what's going on down there. You can follow us here and there or everywhere we go. And if you want to support the show, you can. There's a link on there for that as well. And other than that, man, that's our rain story show. That's the crazy girl over by the mailbox. And we got the whirring noise behind me with the refrigerator. It doesn't seem to want to let up until, I don't know, I think there's a little guy inside the fridge flying around in a little tiny little helicopter. That's what's going on. So let him have his fun, because we're having fun over here. Oh man, earbud story or earpod story, whatever you want to call them. The earbuds, the Apple earpods, the Apple earbuds. I have a missing one that shot out of the little case, bounced off the kitchen counter, did a couple of somersaults, and disappeared into thin air, and I can't find it. Yes, I've looked everywhere. Yes, every crack. I got the flashlight out. I'm looking around. Did it fall into the disposal? Does it go here? Is it underneath there? It's a total mystery that and by the way, this happened. I didn't want to say anything because I wanted to give it a fair chance. Maybe it'll pop up somewhere. I'm always vacuuming the house and all this stuff. I'm like, I got to find it. It's got to be somewhere. Right? And so about 4 weeks have gone by. It's not turning up anywhere. So I said, instead of me looking at this one earbud case, earpod case, Apple AirPods, whatever you want to call them, with one missing, I said, you know what? I'm going to toss it. I'm so sick of looking at it. This thing is not coming back. This thing bounced into some crazy crevice of a universe, and I don't know, maybe some lizard ran by and grabbed it, and now he's listening to lizard music somewhere with his earpod. I don't know, but I can't find it. I'm done looking for it. You know what I'm saying? That's all. I think I'm going to take a bath in some big tub of NyQuil tonight. Why? Because it's the nighttime, sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, so you can rest medicine. That's why. Hey, Millie.
Yeah. You hear what he said about the NyQuil? Yeah, I know. That's pretty funny. I agree. Maybe I should take a bath in the NyQuil tonight, too. Because it's the nighttime, sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, so I can rest medicine. You're funny, DeanBodi.
So that being said, wow, I hope you're having a great day over here. We're having a great day over here, and I hope you're having a great day over there. So what are you going to do? Out here in Dallas, Texas. And let's see what's going on. We got a few more things to talk about. And man, I tell you, that's nutty. And oh yeah, right. I read this phrase the other day. You ready for this? I mean, they said COVID hospitalizations are up at a fever's pitch. Can we be more sarcastic about this if we tried? COVID hospitalizations are up and high at a fever's pitch. Nice going, very cute. And water droplets and all this stuff. Oh my God. Anyway, so you are what your food ate, by the way. Crazy. I'm walking around the neighborhood with Bodi, and water droplets are falling on my arm. And I'm like, what's going on? Is it the water bottle that I'm holding? I don't see any water coming out of there. It's dropping and landing on my arm, and I'm like, oh, wow. Is it like chemtrails from a fuselage from an airplane falling down? We live right by the airport. It very well could be, so I don't know. I better watch out. So I'm wiping, I'm smelling the liquid. It doesn't smell like anything. It just feels like water. It's another mystery, like the earpod mystery. I don't know what's going on. But with all the stuff in the world, all the things that you're touching all day long, going to the market, when you pick up a box of something and put it back, you know how many hundreds of people have touched it and put it back before you and all these other things, creating more variants and all this at your neighborhood grocery store. So do what you got to do. Take care of your immune system. That's the main thing, baby. Oh, yeah. So, all I got to say is, we're having a great day over here. Bodi is the love of my life. Bodi just had a nice little grooming on a Friday. Yesterday, man. Her fur, just when you think it couldn't get any softer, it's another level of softy soft. Love Bodi. I love her so much, it's crazy. I can't even imagine my life without Bodi. Bodi keeps me dialed in. Now, that's helping me with the stress too. So if you think of something, I don't know, some kind of movie scene that you like, or a hero, or some really positive thing that happened to you in your life, And you can focus on that where it'll get that dopamine stuff going and those endorphins kicked in again. You get rid of the stress that way also. This happens with Bodi all the time. As I'm going through it, Bodi comes running around the corner with a toy in her mouth and wants to play. There's no stress. I don't even think about that. So you think about the power in just that mind shift. It's pretty intense. So I'm working on that more in my own life, and it's really helping me. And I'm going to keep on working on it because it's a lifetime program. Getting your brain right is a lifetime program. And I tell you, it can really suck the life out of you, you know? It can really keep you from doing things, you know, and that's not good. So whatever you got to do, and it could be just one step further. It could be just getting yourself out of bed and eating one more healthy meal for that day, going for a little bit longer of a walk, anything like that. Just small things rather than overwhelming with the big, wide, telescoping, stressful mindset. Bring it down, shave it down, and keep moving forward. Keep moving onward. Man, let me tell you. This one thing here, man, and you are what your food ate is pretty cool, and being aggravated when the batteries run out. It's so funny that I have this weight scale that I use. It checks the body fat and all these things. And the battery is like a kind of a watch battery, but a little bit bigger, like one of those little lithium batteries. It lasts forever. But when it finally runs out, it's so funny how I get so aggravated. Like, you know, you think it was going out every other day. And finally, after a year, it needs to be changed. And I'm like going through this whole thing, this whole conniption, this whole, you know, oh God, I can't believe. Well, it doesn't last forever, you know? So I've been here over 8 years. And the light bulbs in the bathroom have never been changed. And one of them finally blew the other day after all that time. And I just totally turned my life upside down because I needed to find the backup bulbs and all this stuff. Major project, but we're so like fragile when it comes to certain things. And you just got to keep rolling with it. I got this refrigerator making this whirring noise behind me right now. We're going to see how it comes out because I got the noise gate here clicked on. We're going to see if it works. And we're doing all the little tools we got to do to try to filter out the background noises as we learn from another person on YouTube. So, you know, we're going to keep moving forward. I hope you have a great weekend. Man, oh man. Hey, listen. Yes, we're Dolphin fans over here, remember. And we're 1-0. Here we go again, 1972. We're on our way to an undefeated season. Here we come, Buffalo. Get ready. Fins up, baby. Fins up. Hey, listen, I hope your team wins. And you have a great day. Take care of yourself so you can take care of somebody else. And Bodi and I are going to have a great weekend. And I want you to have a great weekend, too. Have an awesome day. We love you here, DeanBodi. Have a great day. DeanBodi.com. Oh, yeah.